Day 2 of the e-voting conference entailed countries that use this model sharing their experiences. Estonia introduced the e-voting system in 2005, whilst from 2017 adopted to internet voting. According to the country's National Electoral Committee, it is found to be the most popular and cheaper voting method. In 2023, the European country held what is described as the world's first most digital elections. 51% of votes were cast electronically, while 49% were cast manually. Citizens can even cast their ballots via a voting application.
But here you just have to click on the candidate name you want to vote for. And after that, you have to enter your second PIN, and then your vote is first encrypted by the voting application. And by entering your second PIN, it is also digitally signed.
Whilst Namibia was the first African country to use e-voting in 2014, because of the country's negative experience with the national elections of 2000, 2004 and 2009. The country uses electronic voting machines, but introduced the requirement that the use of voting machines be subject to the simultaneous utilization of a verifiable paper trail for every vote cast. Although the country's election management body warns of ensuring capacity building and technical expertise to avoid high costs, it lists some of the positive elements of using e-voting.
The Namibian EVMs are standalone machines and are not connected to any computer network. They do not transmit or receive any signal. The EVMs are also powered by batteries. Thus it's possible to operate in areas with no electricity for the entire duration of the voting and the counting processes.
Whilst the Democratic Republic of Congo had to implement e-voting as a result of the challenges they faced with the paper-based system. During the 2011 national elections, each voter was subjected to cast their vote on a 30-page ballot that comprised of 1,575 candidates. The National Independent Electoral Commission says there are some gains of using e-voting than the shortcomings, but concede that there are challenges.
And I can tell you we had many cyber attacks because of the state of the election in the DRC. We have also the breakdown of those attacks, but what is good is like we're very, very well protected, and none of this attack was able to really get into our system.
Meanwhile, the MK party expressed their disapproval of e-voting.
We still reject this whole system in that we've had, interactions with the IEC for quite some time. But what happened in May 2024 clearly indicates to us that if they failed when we had a manual system going on, which was combined because it was dual hybrid, it was manual and also electronic, that the system jammed for 4 hours and then thereafter everything went haywire. So how could you have confidence in e-voting when they are unable to manage a system?
Whilst the EFF disagrees with what they call any attempt to transition to electronic elections, whilst the country grapples with challenges of digital capacity.
So now they are coming with this such of e-voting that is they are proposing to South Africans. It's premature. It's not going to happen. That's why we are opposing it. So how many South Africans does not have an access to infrastructure of communication? You know, the CFO, the Chief Executive Officer of Association of Comms and Technology painted a very good picture to say that how many people does not have an access in the whole country. Our statements talk to that. 75% of people in South Africa, they don't have access to the smartphones, especially in rural areas.
However, the DA is cautiously optimistic.
The sketchiness around network connectivity, which the voter management devices depend on, we say that while we're in principle in favor of it, all of the risks must definitely be factored into the process carefully. Maybe the answer is to gradually build systems, build trust in that systems that's gradually implemented, so that you don't sit with a a trust deficit amongst voters specifically at the end of the day.
The final day of the IEC's e-voting conference will conclude on Wednesday. For SABC News, I'm Natasha Piri in Cape Town.